So I was casually browsing the internet when I stumbled upon this headline. I don't see why people like Telecaster so much. To me, a Strat is a lot better and more playable than a TELE. Wait, did I read that correctly? Yes, I did. It was Robbie Krieger, guitarist of The Doors, basically saying Strats own TELEs. And this made me think, is a Strat really that much better than a TELE? So this Strat has been my #1 guitar for the past 3 years, I can say. And before that, I guess it was this Strat. I like Strats. It's almost the perfect guitar. But not quite. Since the past year or so, I feel like I'm leaning towards TELEs more and more. So when I saw that headline saying Strats are more playable and better, I thought, wait a second, I really don't agree. There's definitely a few things about Strats that just bug me or annoy me ever so often. So here's 5 things I don't really like about Strats and why I think, in some circumstances, a TELE is actually better. So I'm sure anyone with a Strat can relate. You're rocking out, feeling it, and then suddenly your guitar sounds totally different. What happened? Oops, I did it again. We flicked that pickup switch by accident, that is, because it is exactly where your hand goes when you're strumming that baby. It's just exactly there. It's just below your... I just don't get it. I totally get that it's easy having that switch somewhat in reach for that super quick pickup change, but I rather have a little more difficulty flicking it on purpose than ever hitting it by accident. Basically like the way it is on a TELE. I really don't see the problem. Just move your hand a little bit forward. There's enough room over there, dude. Jeez. Yeah, that is an option, but changing where you pick the strings also changes the sound drastically. Sometimes you want that little more mellower sound playing closer to the neck, and sometimes that more focused sound of playing a little bit more behind at the bridge. And a lot of times you want to play in the middle, exactly above that switch. And that very switch brings me to point number 2. So this is actually 2 points I want to make, but both about tone, so we'll just cramp it into one. We know the sonic possibilities of the Strats are huge, but regardless of the setting, there's one aspect that's just very hard to deal with. If you play in a band, I'm sure you've been there. Before soundcheck, you dial in your perfect tone. Oh yeah, there it is. Lush, full, creamy, just the right amount of whatever it is you're after. But then the band joins in and you wonder what happened to that incredible tone you just dialed in. So somehow the sound of a Strat is just pretty hard to be heard in a busy mix. It doesn't really cut through the mix, as they say. Anyway, not nearly as easy as the TELE. There's been so many times where I had a great sound on stage, dialed in my amps, my pedals, I was really feeling it. But then when the sound check started, I was just like, hey, where's my guitar? So in order to be heard properly, you want to dial it up. Which always annoys the sound guy, the singer, the sax player. Hey Paul, screw those guys. A guitar needs to be loud. Yeah, but in order to be a good band member, you always gotta make sure everyone is comfortable playing with you. If not, it can be your last show. And now to point number 2 of this second point. You can just totally forget it when you switch to that position 2 or 4 on the pickup switch. The infamous in-between setting. It just kills the guitar in the mix in total. When playing by yourself or maybe with a trio, it isn't that much of an issue. But the frequencies that make you stand out are just not really there. So if you're playing in a band with maybe 2 guitarists or a key player, you need to put a lot of effort in sculpting your tone so you can be heard. I remember playing in a band with the Strat for 2 years straight, and then one day I brought my TELE. And I was just shocked with how easy it was to cut through the mix. I wasn't really louder, I just heard myself much clearer and better, which is really essential if you want to play good. Okay, so this one is a little bit love and hate relationship, and it's the position of the volume pot. So where it's at opens up the possibility to play beautiful swells, like so. And it's easily accessible, well, which is handy if you want to clean up your signal or use it to just change the volumes on the fly. But so often I accidentally turn the volume down without even knowing I did it. And it happened to me so often that I developed a very annoying habit of just always turning up the volume, even when it's up high already, just checking constantly if it's at 10. It's almost, well, it is a tick basically. It's very annoying. And part of this is because on that very Strat, The pot moves very easily. There's almost no friction whatsoever. So when I touch it or when I even look at it, it moves. Also often when you want to play a little bit more at the bridge, because it sounds just a little bit more snappy over there, you just got a free built-in EQ in the guitar, but just changing where you pick. The sun is coming in. It's so hot, by the way. I'm sweating. It's just 9 o'clock in the morning and it's already, there's a heat wave going on. But anyway, when you want to play at the bridge, your fingers just hang a little bit over those volume pods. It's just in the way. Of course, we can work around it, but it's not super comfortable. You know what is? Doing palm mutes on a TELE. There's nothing in the way, and I just play a little bit more easily when there's nothing in the way. But we're not there yet, because there's that elephant in the room we need to address. The Strat can have some serious issues when it comes down to tuning, stability, and 99% of those issues are probably due to that whammy bar you see in almost every Strat. So when it comes to it, so many Strat players almost never use it at all. Because doing anything other than just a little vibrato on the Strat, and you're bound to tune it again. And I tried fixing it on this Strat, for example. There's locking tuners, there's an upgraded bridge, 2 points, whatever, so it's more stable. But in the end, I tried it for a while, but to me, the downsides just outweigh the upsides. And also, when you break a string, you can just totally forget it. Your entire tuning gets messed up, so finishing a song without that one string is not happening. If you want to have a guitar that never lets you down, and you're not really a whammy kind of guy, the best advice is just get rid of those issues and fix the bridge by either some springs in the back or a block of wood. So then why not save yourself some trouble? Grab a TELE and get some twang for free. And the last thing I hate, that no matter what, in the end, I'll always come back to you. I can never put you down. You're just so comfortable, so nice to hold. The weight, the balance between a simple design and yet so many options. So easy to do your own maintenance, and the tone is just so lush and recognizable. But that also is the danger, because playing what you've heard so many times, the Strat has more character than any other guitar, if you ask me. You can never be mistaken if what you're hearing is a Strat or not. So you're bound to play it like a Strat. How you remember it from all the records you listen to and all the legends that played this instrument before you. Instead of cooking up your own sounds, your own tone, your own style. It's easy to sound like any other Strat guy, but it's hard to develop your own sounds. And of course you can break loose from that stigma, but in my idea it's a little easier on the TELE to create your own signature sounds, because the bass you start off with is just a little less colored by itself, if you understand what I mean. So what do you think about all of this? I'd love to see your comments, and I asked around on Instagram too, and the poll ended in the majority not agreeing with Robbie's statement. But still there's 41% agreeing that Strats own TELEs. And I get it, because the Strat was basically designed as the TELE 2.0, but in doing that Leo Fender basically designed a totally new instrument, a totally different instrument with different advantages, different sounds, and also a couple of new disadvantages, if you ask me. Anyway, the point of this video is definitely not to really hate on the Strat or to tell you that the TELE is better, but more that there's no bad guitars really. There will always be debates about this versus that and which one is better. But the truth is, for each guitar there's the perfect application. So saying one is better than the other is just a very weird statement, since it's all just very subjective. But I do really like TELEs though. But it's gonna take more than that to separate us. Don't worry. Have a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching. And love your instrument. It's a very good one probably. So, cheers.